So this afternoon we are trying to save a tree that we particularly loved this spring when we picked it out at the nursery. And she's right here, but this heat has been not kind to her. This is the front of our house right here. It's about 4 or 5 p.m. and this facade of our house just gets pummeled with sun. And this is a very interesting spot because this is our garage right here. And this is the facade of our front, and it just gets pretty much all day sun. In the morning, there's maybe 2 hours that it doesn't get a lot of sun, but then this also gets like maybe 3 hours where it hits the pot too. This is also a tricky spot because we just got this place last year and there is some foundation problems that we're having fixed. So we can't do much down here. We're actually on septic. So this is actually our clean out right here, and the septic tank goes along the driveway. So we don't want to plant anything here because we're going to have to rip it all out anyway. We did have some sprinkler irrigation valves fixed as well as a water spigot. So we're pretty much hand watering this. And I don't know if I'm just not doing a good job at it, but I really want to save this tree. So when we saw this tree down at the garden center this spring, flowers these awesome, beautiful maroon flowers. It's a magnolia. It's a interesting type of magnolia. I actually have one at the front of the house. It's a much smaller variety. It's a genie magnolia, but this one is a black tulip magnolia. The stats on this one is it blooms in early spring. It gets 10 feet wide by 20 feet tall. It's a zone 5 to 9. I really want this to be a dramatic pop of color in the springtime. So let me show you where it's gonna go. The sun is just going down so that we have some shade to work in. I'm gonna tell Joe where to put it, and he's gonna be so kind to dig us our hole. Huh, Joe?
It can't be voluntold.
Okay, so we have a crepe myrtle over here, this one right here, and the spread on that one is, I wanna say it's 20 feet. This is a big one. This is a Natchez, it's a white crepe myrtle. And then we have here 3 Kwanzan cherry trees right here. And I believe those ones get about 15. So the spread on those is like that. We're gonna interrupt this little squirrel's lunch right here because that's pretty much where the tree is gonna go. So this one is gonna go to here. This one probably to there. So I'm gonna do it right smack in the middle. Right there. Okay, Joe, get to it. First thing that you see up here, just popping through while everything else is deciduous up there. At least the trees are anyway. This majestic ash is gonna hold on to its leaves all year. It's evergreen, but everything else is gonna be sparse. So this will be a nice little of color right there. So what we're gonna have to do is take it out of this pot. We're definitely going to reuse the pot, and I got a really cool tree that I'm pretty excited about. I'm going to have to dig it out of this pot. There's some oregano in here right now. Definitely going to repurpose that. But it's pretty fresh. Like, it's only been in here maybe 2-3 months. That's not true. 4 months or so. So this is what I'm replacing it with. This color against this dark wall is going to be awesome. It's going to be a super nice pop with this super light, almost white underleaf. This is an Australian specimen. It is a Banksia integrifolia. I don't know if I'm butchering that, but stats on this one is it gets 30 feet tall by 20 feet wide or so. It can handle sun, light, shade. So I'm thinking this will be awesome in this pot, at least for a while. We can always transplant it once it starts slowing down or it shows any signs of stress. So this tree is going to provide awesome contrast against this dark wall. It's got almost like a olive tree look to it, as well as an oak leaf. You can tell that it's been in the shade. It's kind of gnarled and everything, but it'll definitely straighten out once it gets in this spot. But I don't know if you can see, but see how striking that underside is of the leaf? It's gonna be really nice. And I'm gonna definitely trim it up a little bit. Not right now, but trim it up so that it fits nicely in this area. But I still want it to get high and kind of create a little bit of a canopy to give a little dappled shade.
Well, I don't know what's going on in there.
So I want to show you guys what I found with the roots. It's super promising. So if you look at the tops here, this is really good. So there's new growth here. I think it was just shocked with all the heat and not being in consistent water. So all the leaves look good, but the telltale sign of a healthy plant is the root ball. So this looks really good. So you see all these new roots that are coming out of the initial root ball. So this is where the can was. All of these look really good. So hopefully it survives.
This is some very heavy clay. Look at this heavy clay. Makes digging a huge pain. If you didn't hear him, he says it's the size of a Home Depot bucket. That would be 5 gallons.
I'm just throwing in some extra raised bed mix that I have. It's just really good with moisture retention, as well as it's just got some good stuff in there. If you look at our soil, our native soil, it actually has a lot of clay in it. So if you notice that when it dries out, it just turns into rocks. But also our land is pretty rocky if you look inside the hole. We do have to excavate a lot of rocks when we do plantings like this. When we're on a slope like this, normally what you want to do, you want to dig straight down, not at an angle. Essentially the tree will stick straight up and down, so you're making kind of a little ledge. The end result is a flat surface and not a slope. So you want the water to seep straight down and not on an angle. So if you see here, the back side of the hole is much longer than the front side. And what that's going to result in is this is actually we're going to plant it straight back. So this is going to be exposed. So you're going to have a little shelf here, and that's what you want. We're even going to create a little berm on this side so that the water hits something and goes down into the root hole rather than just spilling over. I threw in some soil here just to kind of give it a little something on the bottom. And I'm going to throw in just some organic plant tone. It's just a slow release organic fertilizer. It's got a lot of good beneficial bacteria in there, so it's going to help with the roots, especially now that we're messing with it. It'll create that nice symbiotic relationship and get this thing going. So every tree has a good side and a bad side, just like you and I. So this one looks like it's kind of reaching
Every side's
toward
my
you
good side.
guys. So this one's kind of reaching this way. So I'm going to put that toward the observable, or the most observable spot, which is the driveway. The last thing that I can think of in regards to planting a tree is if you live in a windy area or you have a consistently windy direction up the driveway, or it actually can shift from the ocean, which is this way, so it comes in from my left or from kind of my right rear. So you want to, if you can, just tilt it a little bit that way, just so it's stronger. If you put it back or straight, you can kind of weaken it or just cause it stress. I'm just gonna add water to kind of settle whatever soil I have in here. So when you're planting something in the ground, you also don't want to go just straight, like yummy, good soil. You want to put in some of your native soil. So what that does is you're not creating a super happy spot for your plant. You still want to give it somewhat of what lies beneath, because those roots are only going to stay so big for so long. And you want it to be used to the natural dirt. So I am in no way in construction, nor do I really know how to stabilize a hillside. But I know this is better than it was before. So we have obviously some landscaping going on with hardscape in the front of the house. So this is one of the boards that they were using to do our stairs, and they're gonna haul it away anyway, so I'm just gonna use it. And then I just got some wood stakes. They are 2 feet stakes. Put the board right in front of the tree to hold back the soil, so it essentially creates a stair. So I'm just going to take this remaining soil that I have from the hole and fill in this little stair that I created. And once this tree grows in, we can take this stair out because the roots will have stabilized. See, this is our kind of clay soil up here. It's really interesting. We have so many different kinds of soil on our property. I think just because of all the hills around here. So this is definitely a clay patch that we hit. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more of the good stuff. So it'll all trickle down in there. And I'm gonna finish it with mulch right next to a drip line. So I'm just gonna tap into that, probably with the 1/4-inch drip tubing every 6 inches, and just do probably a foot or so. Wrap around that, give it a good drink, and hopefully we'll see this thing pop back. So I'm just going to put a pot riser here. As you can see, our water creates stains. they'll come off if you rinse it. Our water creates stains. They'll come off if you rinse it pretty frequently, but all right, I think that's on there. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna toss pretty much all of the old soil in here. Maybe top it off with, I think I'm gonna do a cactus mix on that one. Yeah, so these roots could use a little bit of teasing, just how you see how they're basically contouring the can. So I'll break those up a little bit, but not too much, so we can let loose in this container.